Here we are. Welcome all to Handpan Roots live stream number 3. It's so good to be here with all of you guys. My name is David. I am the happy founder of Master the Handpan, and you've just joined, whether you're watching this live or as a replay, you're just joining a super cool event follow-up that we're doing every week for this month of June. This event is called Handpan Roots. I'll tell you a little bit more about this project. Next to me on the screen, my dear cousin and colleague at Master the Handpan, Sylvain. How is it going?
Hey,
Sylvain?
doing great, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing super good. I'm so happy we are almost reaching the end of this marathon, the marathon of joy and discipline with our beloved instrument, the handpan. So
Absolutely.
feeling good.
Yeah, this is live stream 3 out of 4, and it's really exciting to be back together. I'm going to give everyone a few technical instructions as folks join in. So once again, a warm word of welcome to everyone joining us. We like to start our live streams with an icebreaker question. And today the question is, who would you like to play handpan for? Let me rephrase it. Who would be blessed if you played for them? Who would you like to play handpan for? It can be the name of someone. It can be playing for hospice care or hospital patients. Just type this in the chat, and we will circle back on it in just a moment. And while you respond to the icebreaker, let me remind you, this is week 3 of Handpan Roots. Dave, remind us, what is Handpan Roots all about?
Thank you so much. Welcome to everyone. If you just joined us, it's a pleasure to be here and to talk to you about this event. Actually, a few months ago, I was like, I would love to try something new. This is something that we like at Master the Handpan, is try new things. You know, if you don't move on, if you don't try things, then you can fail. And at providing content for people. And we like to try stuff. And even if we fail, it's okay. This is the state of mind, the mindset we have here. But we always want to try things in order to keep doing our mission. Our mission is to equip and encourage as many handpan players as we can to have fun playing, learning, sharing the handpan around them. So we wanted to have a mix between discipline and being together and having a follow-up with the students. I think we're missing that. It's super hard to do something online. I don't see you guys. I don't know what you're doing. So we wanted to have a little bit more of the human side, being connected to one another. So I created these 30 days. It's kind of a challenge where I unlock a new video every 3 days so that everyone is working at his own pace. There is not too much content, and videos go one by one. And one by one, videos by videos, we are learning the basics of the handpan. I wanted to create the 12 videos everyone should watch if you're just starting your handpan journey. Also, if you want to revisit the basics, that's, I think, a great content and some great instructions. So one video every 3 days, 12 lessons, homeworks, backing tracks, because I think we all have an issue with time, right? And in order to get the most out of this material, I wanted to guide you also for your practice at home with some backing tracks. And also we have this homework video where I exactly tell you what to do with your 15 minutes of practice a day. This is why what I strongly encourage everyone to do is few minutes every day, but every single day, and you can see amazing results. A supportive community. We created a space with every Handpan Roots participant in it so that you guys can can share with one another. And also, it's super cool and it's working pretty well. Thank you, guys. But below each video, you can comment, ask your question. And I see the enthusiasm growing. And you guys seem to be in the boat still after almost 3 weeks, right? So I'm super happy about this. And again, welcome to this Handpan Roots event. And oh, mamma mia, the giveaway. We forget that because we're doing that quite often. We try in order to motivate and to make people happy. We are raffling, giving away a beautiful instrument made by Panache, a French maker, super talented. His name is Cédric Plat. Thank you so much if you're watching this. Merci beaucoup, Cédric, si tu nous regardes. And yeah, it's going to be a D-curd. That's our lovely scale, the scale I'm teaching with. The cases included. You can see the value of the instrument. We're giving some value here, but we just want to make people happy. Sylvain will tell you a little bit more how you can win this instrument.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be important as next week will be our wrap-up and the live prize draw for this giveaway instrument from Panache. So it's so cool. I just saw a comment in the chat
Let me see.
saying, no, it can't end. Too much fun. Yeah, it's really exciting to see the enthusiasm. And, you know, if you've been diligent throughout the month, awesome. If you are a bit late, don't worry. It's not too late to really make the most of this experience. There's a special energy. There's a special kind of result that happens when we all start and finish together. And you're still in it. If you're tuning in today, if you're watching the replay, you're still in it. So don't miss this. So really quickly, what to expect today. Just like last time, if you've been with us after this short introduction, we will dive into checkpoint number 2. So we'll recap what happened between last week and today. We'll go over a brief overview of lessons 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then already I want to let you know, if you have some burning questions, please type those in the chat. We're going to have a live Q&A session and wrap up with some announcements, hinting at the remainder of the Handpan Roots program, and then making sure you've done everything that you needed to do to be entered in our raffle. But first, let's circle back on this question. Who would you like to play handpan for? And let's take a moment and look at the chat. Let's see. I'm going to scroll back up. Oh, so many comments from people saying hello. And while I get there, let me first turn to you, Dave. Put you on the spot. He doesn't know. He didn't know the icebreaker question.
No, I didn't know the question. It's a good one.
So who would be blessed by you playing for them? Who would you like to play for? What comes to mind?
I'm going to say 2 things. What I usually like is to play for random people. They don't even know the instrument, or this kind of audience that if you don't go there, they won't find out about this instrument, you know. So hospital, for some kids in I don't know how to say it in English, but you know, kids who have some strong disease and stuff. But recently, as I'm done with my new album, it left this morning to the master. It's going to be mastered after the mix. I just want to bless as many people as I can, I hope, with my music. But yeah, it's a great question. We want to play for people who are sensitive, or who we know they could be touched, moved by the instrument. So, and maybe this special audience, elderly. If you don't go there, they will not scroll TikTok or YouTube to find and discover this instrument. Yeah. Super cool. Thank you for that.
Right on. Yeah. Good man, Dave. Hector says family and friends.
Yeah.
Isabel, my friends, my community. Torsen says, I play for me, myself, and I.
Yeah, exactly.
Maria says, for the Pope. Let me see if I can display this.
Oh. I imagine.
Let's see.
I saw
Jason
some.
says my local drum circle. What was that, Dave?
No, I saw someone who said that I think it was Annie. She played for a family. They lost their first kid, just born kid, and I think if you scroll up, you'll find it. But it's wow. This is touching me a lot, especially
Yeah,
when you have kids. You think about these things, and
definitely.
thank you for having done that. You're bringing a bit of peace to these people, and it helps a little
Yeah,
bit,
it's
but it
amazing, like
helps.
to think of the reach
Yeah.
of everyone on this call, and if we all go out and play for
Mhm.
someone. Gerda says people who don't know the handpan.
Yeah.
CS says anyone and everyone who would like to hear this beautiful instrument
Mhm.
being played. Sound bath offerings from Steve. Stephanie for myself. Yeah, it's one of the best
Yeah.
parts of playing this instrument. It's great to just relax after a long day,
Yeah.
lower your blood pressure. I'm sure just make you happy.
What?
Um,
Why do we see this on my screen? I didn't do that. Sorry,
Dave
guys, that
does
was
not
not
like that.
intended. What? I didn't do anything.
um, Phantom Phantomnotone says my mom. She's always been there for me.
Mm.
She's my rock.
No.
You know what? I'll piggyback on that. When I first started playing the hung, when my cousin Dave let me borrow one of his instruments, I was still in high school. I was living at my parents, and I was obsessed. I was playing every day, and my immediate family, my parents, my brother had already moved out of the house for college, but they heard me play a lot, and to this day my mom and dad, they love it when I play for them. And
Yeah.
because I live abroad, I don't get to see them very often, but I really enjoy playing for them because it's like one of those, sweet moments, sweet memories, something to share as a family. um, and of course they've heard Dave play a ton. I mean, I remember the day when I first saw um, the hung you play it, and the first time I had ever seen it ever, it was in my parents' backyard, and it was a family gathering, right? And you just brought it there, um, and the rest is
And
history.
the rest is history. We made this duet, and don't get me started. I'm super nostalgic about these years.
Yeah, there's so many
You
good
know me, right?
entries. Anyone who's willing to
Thank you,
listen,
guys. Thank you, Annie.
grandchildren.
Yeah.
For myself, again, great solo instrument. Um, Karina, a dear friend and community member, says she would like to play for her dad who passed away.
Mm.
Just beautiful, beautiful
Mm.
heart, beautiful thought there.
Mm.
Um, for my clients, Melanie says,
Yeah.
for everyone, for my mom on her 90th birthday.
Wow.
Um,
Congrats,
those
Annette.
comments are amazing.
Yeah.
Just we can't read them all. Playing for church, for sound journeys.
Excellent.
It's wonderful. Tassim says for strangers. Um, guys, you're amazing, and you can do
Yeah.
it. Like we can.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like we all love this instrument, and we can go out into the world and actually
Oh, yeah.
do this thing that we're
And
talking
if we
about.
can just enable you, just being a little something on in your handpan journey with Master the Handpan, it's such an honor to know that we are helping you, equipping you in order to do that. This is amazing. And actually, guys, I like to read you because I feel alive, and the platform feels alive. Too much of online things. So just reading you guys makes me so happy. Thank you so much for sharing. We have
Yeah,
to
and
find
I'm
ways to connect more. We're thinking at different projects, but definitely we see that the Handpan Roots is a great one, and we get to have these moments like this one. Super cool.
Yeah, and I'll bring up this comment that you mentioned from the
Yeah.
chat.
Okay.
Annie
Yeah.
says, "This past
Annie,
week I
pa pa
played for a
pa.
woman who was losing her first child. It made me emotional to write a tribute for the baby as it passed. It was a beautiful experience to contribute some peace."
This is
All right, guys, thank you for this is probably one of the most meaningful icebreaker questions we've ever had. Oh my gosh.
yes.
Okay, I don't know how to transition from this, but this is live stream 3 out of 4. It's called Keep Growing. We're going to go through a couple of segments. First,
Yeah.
a recap. So, let me pull up the beautiful interface that our web guru Matt has put together for Handpan Roots. You can see the syllabus on the left, your progress on the right, and the live stream schedule here. So I think from last week to today,
Yep.
we
We've
unlocked these modules.
Yes, exactly. Exploring rhythm, and then we started the composition all together. This is so cool. So, you remember the very first videos were all about getting the right position for you, the instrument, anatomy of the instrument, then the touch, some warm-ups we shouldn't undermine. These warm-ups are super important. The touch also, we can take so much, we can get so much bad reflex, bad habits with the wrong touch. So many people of you, some of you said, many of you said, "Wow, I can actually put my palm on the instrument and still play the notes above, and it's more comfortable." I was being itchy, stitchy. How do you say? Tendu, crispé.
Tense.
Tense.
Yeah.
And now I can rest my palm on the instrument. So I'm so glad these little details unlock a whole new approach to the instrument and are really changing. It's really changing the timbre you get of the instrument, the touch you have, and this contributes to flowing over the instrument, being super comfortable, and all that you guys want to achieve this kind of goal. So exploring the rhythm. So important to know what's going on, to know what we're doing. What is a rhythm? How does this work? Okay, we have 8 beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or a bar of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, etc. Understanding that you can place accents and notes and chords and poom and tag, but this has a loop. There is a 1, there is a beginning, an end, and it's so important. It helps you to develop your internal clock and to know where's the 1, where is home, when is the pattern done. And it's so important because when you want to compose, you need to make sure you are placing everything into this frame so that you are containing it, so that it makes sense and that it's not going in all direction. If you have a little fill, a little break, a little something, even you're building a melody, how to fit it into your groove, into your cycle, your loop. So I read many comments about that. You guys were happy to understand how rhythms could be structured. Rhythm, it's all about silent and accent and following the time, being on a BPM and structuring that so that we can identify a proper loop, whether it's on 8 beat or 16 beat, etc. So that was great. And then we moved into this composition. And I think out of this video of rhythm and the video about composition, I took some notes about your questions, because under each video you can upvote some questions, some comments in order to get my intention, and then I can talk about it live. I think we've had many questions around the ghost notes. The ghost notes. I think the most important thing is to realize that a ghost note is a note. There is a sound. There is something happening. There is a rhythmical, a sound information. Something is happening. I'm not in the air. Otherwise, it would be a silent. I do touch the instrument, and I play this ghost note in order to keep track of the time, in order to stay in the beat, in order to add some drive to steadiness to the rhythm. So, again, I do touch the instrument. Without ghost note, it would sound like this. But listen, This helps you to keep track of the time, to stay on the beat, and it gives a great energy, a great groove. It helps you to groove also. So some people told me I have a hard time with my ghost note. Which hand, which finger, which? Honestly, sometimes when we play rhythms, we play with flat hand, all the fingers, 1 and 2 and 3, just to. It's kind of a percussion way of doing things, but when you play your handpan, your ghost notes should be played with only one finger, the finger that you want, whichever finger, it's okay. We all have our favorite fingers. We don't understand or know exactly why. For example, imagine you're typing, do some air typing on your keyboard, write your name. You are using certain fingers and not others. And then on your instrument, it might be either the same or different. We have our favorite fingers, but still, I suggest you to work on all of them because you need all these different weight, these different touch, texture. It's like brushes. When you paint, you want a big one, a little one, and they do have a different sound. So use all of them, but you will end up with some that you particularly use. So the volume of the ghost note, well, try to play your patterns reducing the volume of your ghost note. So you will go from to this. Isn't it more beautiful? So some people were saying they have some confusion. Right hand is doing accent. You have control with your right hand, but not with your left if you're right-handed. And I just want to say this is totally normal. It's totally normal. Your right hand is going to teach your left hand. It's really like, I think I wrote a comment to someone saying, let me find it, that your hand is kind of this one is teaching the other one, and this one will adapt, and it's just a matter of training, of practice, of time. So keep going. You're on the right path, and actually the fact that you are noticing where is the problem, the fact that you're noticing that your left hand is a bit weak, or noticing that you have a hard time to control the strength with your left or your non-dominant hand, this shows that you have great ears, and then you will be able, because you've seen the problem, you've identified the problem, it's going to help you to correct it. It comes with time. Honestly, it's just a matter of time. Before I give you the mic, guys, let me check. Yeah, and sometimes when people are struggling with ghost notes or with their left hand or non-dominant hand, just take your left and get used. Work on your touch. Go everywhere on the instrument randomly, as I showed you in the warm-up exercises. Try different finger, and you only want to hear the same kind of timbre. You don't want to hear poke, ping, poke, ping, poke, ping, poke. No, whichever finger you're using, you want to hear the same volume, the same timbre. And actually this helps you because you are putting your hands in your hand in different position and switching from a finger to another one. As you can hear, I'm using different ones. Do that every day, and you'll see that you will be able to move your non-dominant hand quite faster, and also that you will be more accurate and balanced, so that this one, your non-dominant hand, will reach the level, the precision, the accuracy of your right hand. Let me have a look at my notes, and then the floor is yours. I think that was pretty much it. Ghost note. People saying, I have the melody. Where? Why did I?
Yes.
No. I know there are the few things you can do. Anyway, that was super random. Some people have a hard time with the melody, some with the rhythm, or when you have the melody, you're losing the rhythm, and vice versa. This is totally normal. Play it as a loop, stay on the beat, and you will have it. Someone is playing with my computer, right? Can I have the reaction back?
There you
Ah,
go.
yes. Awesome. So bravo, guys. I'm super proud of you. You have my fireworks. What else? What else? I think it's frustration, lack of patience. This shows you're a real human, and this shows I'm not alone to be impatient sometimes. Frustration is just the difference between where you're at and where you want to go. So at least you have a dream, you have an objective. It's normal to be frustrated, and sometimes we just can't help it. My piece of advice is just to turn, because frustration is kind of an energy. It makes something, it creates something. If you can turn this emotion, this feeling, this power into discipline, into I'm gonna make it, rather than I'm complaining. It's almost the same. It takes you the same energy to complain and be bored and stuff than to be like, okay, I'm gonna be back to my instrument. So channel your frustration, turn it into motivation, perseverance. We all need perseverance. Me first. You should have seen my day today. I got so much. I got a hard time on the project, a handpan project. It was super tough. I had to motivate myself and persevere.
Yeah, I love that general word of wisdom. It's true. Like if something is hard, it's because it's worth doing. And if it were easy, everybody would be doing it. So we're going after something. And if you ever disconnect with that motivation, just think back to your dream of like that icebreaker question, like who do you want to play for?
Exactly.
What do you want to
And if it's hard, it means you're working. Like, look, think about the sport you're doing or the sport you were doing. Sometimes when it's the harder, this is where your muscle is building up, and I think we grow through pain also. It's part of it, part of the journey.
Right on. So we are going to move into a time of Q&A. So you guys know where to find the chat. Please drop your questions. There were already a few.
Yeah, and we can prioritize the one that are really about the content we've seen together, about really the handpan first, and later on we can just talk.
Absolutely. So since we were just talking about ghost notes, there is a question from Phantom No Tone.
Yeah.
Hard time keeping ghost notes even in sound.
Yeah.
And Dave demonstrated that.
Another complementary exercise would be it's super simple yet effective. Because I think you have a hard time with the sound, and it comes from the strength, and also with the sound compares to your accent. So I think this exercise should not only help you, but help other people with their dominant, non-dominant hand, having strength where it's the right moment with the right hand and stuff. Just this. Loud, soft. Loud, soft. Okay? And then you switch. With your left, it's harder than with your right. And you invert. For example, 5 times on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. 5, 5, and 1 here, and you invert like this. I think it helps to have to develop this balance between the two hands, and at the end you will be able to control more because you will have done soft sound with your left as much time as you with your right hand. So try this, and you should be good. And good luck. You're gonna make it.
Yeah, great illustration, Dave. And I think this might also answer your question, Gerda. If my right hand is doing a slap, the left hand is also doing it instead of playing a ghost note. So that exercise, playing one hand softly, a ghost note, and the other one doing an accent, a slap, whether it's by the flange or on the shoulder tone, that should help you out.
And I think because our non-dominant hand tend to reproduce what the other hand is doing, so we need to cut here, right and left, here, right and left, and to really spend time on saying here it's one information, loud, here it's soft, okay, and we're gonna help left and right, and it's kind of hand brain independence, and this is a muscle. We can act on it. We can really do something about it. It's not something you will be stuck like this your whole life. This is really something we can develop.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's a question from Murat. My index finger has a lot of tension and I don't know why. This kind of reminds me of the live workshop we did on the Master the Handpan Academy last year at some point with Bronkar Lee, who is a professional entertainer. This guy fills stadiums and he's just a riot. The guy's on fire. But he had all these exercises, including, hand dexterity. Do that 20 times. It'll get the blood pumping. There's probably others. There's lots of different warm-ups, things you don't think of, when you play an instrument, because it's not a sport. But actually, especially the ergonomics of the handpan, there's quite a bit of movement. You see the videos of players playing really fast. You could pull a muscle. I mean, you could hurt yourself. You could you could feel not great doing it if you don't, if you haven't loosened up your shoulders. So I'm sure doing some shoulder rolls, kind of stretching your fingers, all of this stuff is probably helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really case by case, person by person. Some people, it's due to a lack of stretching. Some it's due to their daily work, where they have a lot of tension. But for sure, stretching will always be the answer for tensions. Carefully, not till you get pain. Stop before. But I think if we start doing a bit of stretching every single day, just 5 minutes where we have a tension, we should see some result. And if it lasts, just go and see a kinetherapist. How do you say in English? Physio.
Yeah, chiropractor, I think.
Yeah. Someone who knows fingers and tensions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we want to be playing until our old days, right? So it's a good idea to stay on top of your hand dexterity. There's a question from Lionfish Film. Because we are taught in the exercises to use the largest 4 fingers of each hand interchangeably, how do we know which finger we should be playing any given note in a composition?
This is a super good question. Again, no matter what, you will end up playing with some fingers more than others. Already you can notice that. So I have 2 goals. First goal is I want you to use all of them just to be able to move them, because it's going to serve you later, sooner or later. It's going to help your hand to move correctly, your fingers. It's going to serve your dexterity. And so in a way, at some point, it's going to be useful for your playing. If right away I say select 2 fingers and only practice with them, I know this won't serve you. I want you to have all your fingers independent, without tension, that they can move. But, and that's my second thing, at the end, you will be playing with always the same fingers. I rarely use my ring finger. it's not that one day I'm playing with my index and middle finger, and the day after I play the same pattern, but I totally change all my fingers. Not at all. So one, you have to train and stretch and use all your fingers. This is good for your fingers, your playing, your hand dexterity, finger dexterity. Second, even if you do that, you will have your favorite fingers. Please use them all the time. But you can also work on the other ones. I hope I was clear. Sylvain, please help me. You're the Englishman here.
Yeah, no, that was great. Let's see, we got a few more questions. Let me make sure I don't lose track of them. Hector says, is there any app to identify the notes of my intuitive handpan playing? I record on my phone.
I think so. You should type you should type something like AI notes identification and something like Cordify, something like this. But Google will help you a lot to find this. And I think you can drag and drop an audio, and it kind of gives you either the chord it identifies or the notes. So check out, AI is doing whatever you can even think of. So there might be a tool. I have been using something with chords, and it was Chordify, but you should find something similar.
Yeah, interesting to think about the overlap of the handpan and these new technologies. It would be cool, right? You start recording, you play your piece, or maybe you upload a recording from your phone, and it tells you exactly what it is you just played.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Can you show us how to? Oh, this one is cool. Can you show us how to hit two notes in the same time correctly?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, good question from Matt. Here, I'm going to put you on the big screen.
So, let me put this here. These two. Okay, so you can clearly see them. There's something with your wrist. Maybe like this, it's going to be even better. Even if we have the mic here. I think it's going to be okay. Okay, so. Voila. So, here I have two notes, okay? And look, I have this little, guys, this is a whole, okay, wow, we can see them. Here, you can play them just by having this little movement where you hit them at the same time. So you have your thumb doing one note, and also your finger, they are falling together on the surface. Tack, 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 on the surface. There is not one and then the other one, or this one and then this one. Together, flat, at the same time on the surface. And I'm not doing this. Look. And I'm touching the borders with my thumb, the border facing me, or facing. Sylvain, help me on this one. I am striking the border that is naturally down here. You know, I'm not going over the note. It's down here, and same. My finger is there, so I'm touching this border here. I'm not trying to go over the dimple, or somewhere inside. No, I stay where it is, here. And here, I stay there. And I have this little wrist movement. So I think it's a matter of look at your fingers, make sure they are falling together at the same time on the two notes, and make sure each finger is striking at the right spot, and then just get used to this little wrist movement. Sylvain, if you want to add something, please do.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, thankfully, on most instruments, you will reach two notes with opening your hand and making that L shape. Maybe with extremely low notes or bottom notes, it's a lot more ergonomically challenging to reach those. But top shell, you're going to be able to reach all those notes two at a time.
Yeah. And also, when I say on the edge, I don't want this tip to be something that is that makes you feeling stuck, like, oh, I think I was not on the edge. If it sounds, it's okay. If it makes a sound, if you like this sound. So every time I'm playing, especially when you go fast, I don't even know. I should watch this slow motion. And I'm sure many times I'm not at the best spot in the border here. Maybe I'm just on that surface. But guys, it's okay. Look, this is the surface that is vibrating. This is your note. And that surface here, that flat surface, it's okay. I just find it's personal. Your ears are your best buddy. But I think when we are getting closer to the edge, we have more like a cotton sound. Again, if I get out, I have the shell and I get into my note. Oh, some harmonics are involved here. Look. Oh, you must think it's perfect. Cotton. I love it. But I'm not thinking at my borders at every stroke, okay? So as long as you are on that flat surface, it's okay. So do not overthink too much about this edge. But if you can, it's still a great, the sweet spot.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that responds to Moon's question as well. Are you striking the edge of the dimple when hitting two notes? Yeah. Yes. So, of course, your handpan notes are going to be oval. There's a long axis. There's a short axis. The harmonics that are going to be predominantly activated are going to depend where around that diaphragm you're hitting the note. But like Dave said, when you play fast, as long as you're getting a good sound, you're going to get a good mix of harmonics. And in fact, that is the magic of the handpan.
Yeah.
When you get this mix of octaves and compen fifths, and if those mean nothing to you, it just is the magical sound of the handpan, right? It's that you're never going to hit the same note exactly the same twice because of, the inclination, the angle of your finger, the velocity, and thankfully, right, it's the difference between a real piano and a keyboard, right? This is a breathing, living instrument. It's your magic pan. And there are going to be some imperfections in your touch because perfect is boring. You want that slight, ever-shifting dynamic in your playing. And of course, you know what you're looking for, but settle for 90% there and don't stress over the rest.
Perfectly said.
All right. So we've got a question from... we've got a couple questions from Alex all the way from Greece. I know you were just in Greece, Dave.
Yes.
So Alex says, how can I play the same rhythm, changing the hands from left to right? It's difficult to keep my left hand the same rhythm when I change the chords.
If I understand correctly your question, I think there are two things. One is like, if I play a rhythm, I have a hard time to play it starting from the left. Am I correct, Sylvain?
How can I play the same
How can I play the same rhythm changing the hands from left to right? So how is really by thinking the rhythm starting with another leading hand. So if I was doing right, tack, right, right, tack. Now I will do left, tack, left, left, tack. So this is really shifting everything. It's difficult to keep with my left hand the same rhythm.
And Alex expands. He says, I try to
Okay.
find the right way to ask my questions. I play very well with many rhythms with my dominant hand, but I have difficulty when I try the same with my left hand. I suppose I need practice.
I have a cool answer for you. No one has ever asked you or asked us to be able to reproduce everything we were doing with our right hand with our left hand. There is not like, you have to do that in music. How come you're not able to? Starting from the left. Why? Why? So I can play it already with my right hand. So for the sake of dexterity, hand independence, coordination and stuff, it's a cool exercise. But hey, it's as if I'm telling you, when I play handball, I'm jumping using my left leg, but I have a hard time to use my right hand, my right leg pour prendre appui, Sylvain, to
lean against.
To lean against. Well, you play handball, you're good, you're used to this dominant leg. Use it. Can you throw a ball better this way? Yeah, do it. But if you need for handball, which is not the case, or if you want to develop a certain skill, it's a good exercise. But it's not. Don't be. I cannot personally play all my rhythms with inverted, shifted hands. Not at all. It's super tough. That's my answer.
Yeah, right on. That was a clutch response. We're getting a little choppy signal from Dave. So let me read off a question and see if the video can refresh.
Okay.
We're gonna try this. So Dave, if you want to maybe turn off and turn on your cam, and I'll bring you back on. Let me pull up a couple other questions as Dave does that tech check. Let's see. There was a follow-up question from Murat. What do you suggest for less tension on fingers? Sometimes I hit the notes hard unexpectedly. Actually, not too hard, but it sounds like knock knock. Is it related to the quality of the handpan? Let's see. So Dave demonstrated exercises to try to get a stable sound. So let's use this terminology of stable sound, and I think we've got Dave back. Perfect. Yep. So actually, in the maker community, when you get a handpan, and if every note projects the same, has the same volume, has the same projection of harmonics, we call this a stable instrument. Arguably the best handpans are the most stable, meaning every note is just the same loudness, the same projection. That's the instrument. Now, your role as the player, like Dave demonstrated, is to control the strength of your strikes, right? For those ghost notes, for those slaps, for those knocks. It can be related to the quality of instrument, but I think it's equally related to the familiarity that you have with your instrument and with those motions. Yeah. Both matter. We don't know the specifics of your instrument, but I would say no matter what you're playing, you can grow and you have room. And in fact, I mean, we have seen some of the world's best handpan players play on, some not so great instruments. And I'm not certainly not throwing any maker under the bus, but it's like using a box of matches as a shaker. You can make sounds with anything. Everything is musical. So let's not blame the instrument. Let's focus on what we can change, which is our skills.
Yeah, excellent.
All right. Let me bring up a question from Gerda. Another question, she says, is it really necessary to stay on a level until you really dominate the particular skill without any mistake?
That's a good question, and we can share for sure the answer. We have to know each other. No, you have to know yourself. That's what I try to say. You have to know yourself. Some people, they have to switch every 30 minutes to something else in their life or in their job, or, like you cannot have one task during the morning. You need to change from task A to task B, and you can spend 30 minutes on each, no more. Is it how you've been made? Is it something you've never tried to change? Is it so we need to do trials. I know some people, they tell me I cannot stay long on a task, and I have suggested to stop screens, notification, and to force themselves to do some deep work, having those time block, super focus and stuff, and we can work on being focused on something. And but sometimes that's the way we were born and created, So I think in music, the behavior, and my suggestion is whenever you are fed up with something, whether it's on this pattern or this skill, push it through. And then you will be really fed up. Push it one more time, and then you stop. So that you trained, you develop these habits or that of being in front of a difficulty and pushing it through. I think it's a great skill to do that. So you said skill and not pattern or a certain speed when playing a groove or stuff. But if I zoom out on this question, and if we speak about skill or anything, you don't have to master something perfectly to move on to the next thing or to learn something new, because we need also to refresh our mind. And so sometimes the best tip when you're fed up with handpan is just open a book, stop the exercise, switch off the Handpan Roots videos, read a book, go to bed, and you will wake up and you'll see some differences. So I hope I answered the question. But at the same time, I want to tell you, push it through, because sometimes we're too tempted to stop whenever there's a difficulty. And sometimes you need to stop and move on to something else. So you need to know yourself and to do some trials. This is so cool. The only person on which we can have an impact is us. So do some trials.
Wow, that's so good. Thanks so much for that answer, Dave. There was a question from Drones Flicks. I find it very difficult to put tones between the groove. Like, we have the groove, and then I want to put melody in this groove, but I find it so difficult. Oh man, like this resonates so much. In fact, maybe at the end of the live stream, I'll play a little bit for you guys. Something that I was having this exact challenge. I had my groove. It was this sort of Middle Eastern kind of oud little drone. Pum ta da da pum ta tan ta pum ta 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 pum tan tan ta pum pa da da pum pa tan ta pum ta 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 pum pam pam pa pum. How do I add melody? It's already so busy.
It's full.
It's already so busy, right? And so I really scratched my head over this one. And I'll tell you what, I had to creatively make it work so that I could reach notes on the other side of the instrument and on that side. So it works. You might have to cheat here and there, meaning you're going to have to sacrifice maybe your groove just a little bit to be able to fit that melody.
Yeah.
But it'll be full enough that I think you will fool us. You will.
Yeah.
It'll work.
And this is so cool to do this exercise of, okay, what is this groove letting me as a space? What is the space that I have? And also, how can I add more stuff and change a bit the groove so that I don't denature the groove, so that I keep having the same feeling? Or maybe on my tack, I could have a note. It's weird. Or on my ding, a chord. And I think this conversation between how much I can insert, what I can get rid of to still have the same feeling of my groove. This is practicing and arranging music patterns, and this you can lose yourself into this kind of thing, and it's so cool.
Yeah, and you know, we tend to be hard on ourselves as handpan players because we're like, well, I can't play this cover, or I'm missing a note, or I don't have the full range of a piano, right? And yeah, it's true. It's true. Those are the limitations of our instrument, right? This is not a chromatic instrument, meaning it doesn't have all the white and black keys. It has a fairly limited range, right? So you are working within limitations. You're not going to be able to do it all. But how fun is it to be at the forefront of a new instrument and to try to arrange some music on this thing, right? So don't beat yourself up. In fact, we're all in the same boat, and I know that Dave right now and David are working on something that is really stretching them, and that you'll discover in the near future. About trying to do what we do on our handpans, the stuff that is possible in the bigger world of music. So hint hint, nudge nudge, I won't say any more than that. All right, we got a few more questions. Hene asks, when is Master the Handpan Dojo organizing their own handpan festival?
Yeah. And this question, this is something we bring to the table so many times, and we're always like, no, this is not the priority. It has to be a priority. Yeah, but look at this, look at that. We wanted to do one to celebrate the fusion, the merger, the union.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we say next year, we're too busy. And then we said next year, and here we are. It's 2026 coming very soon, and we don't know if we're going to make one. Honestly, if we do one, we do a super nice one. And I think we really need to have the bandwidth, to have the team, because right now, if we do that, we have to set some time apart and maybe take off some of the work from our team to be focused on that. And we don't have the means for now, the resources. Guys, if you are a great organizer, if you want to have a pay job or you want to volunteer, like if you're a professional and you want to be involved in that, let's do it. If you just have some skills and you want to volunteer, it's also okay. But I think one day we'll send an email and trying to find a team and make this happen. But if I ask my team to organize it, or if myself I take time to organize it, I think it would take too much bandwidth on the daily work we have to do. But what a cool thing that would be.
Yeah, we're all manifesting here. We all want it to happen.
Exactly.
Cool. All right. As we start to land this plane, some fun questions. Enrique asks, can you add a course from Master the Handpan as a prize in the final raffle? Putting you on the spot there.
Mm-hmm. So that we don't have just one handpan?
Yeah, maybe that's the idea.
Yeah, but if I add one, I will add two.
Aha, see?
You see?
All you had to do was ask.
Just ask. And now the comments will be like, no, yeah, this is it's a good idea. And so that there is not only one draw, like, we have two more options. Okay, I'll add two courses of your choice.
Nice. All right. I'm taking notes because we're all so busy we're going to forget. But it is in the books now. And then a question from Betty. Can we keep learning even after this month?
there's always a moment where, because you might say David is super cool, but there are some moments I'm not cool. And this is the moment we're finishing on this question. We've got some discussions internal, and I'm going to tell you this. The answer is no, because I think we would lose the power of a challenge. We would lose the power of the momentum, the motivation and everything. If you do a meeting at your job and you say there will be a replay or there will be notes anyway, people don't show up to the meeting. I think it's exactly the same, but I so understand. I hear already from here all the everything that can happen in life that maybe prevent you from watching the video, or maybe it goes too fast, or maybe you just want to go back to it after a while to really spend more time, digest and everything. This content was completely free, but it was for a limited duration because we wanted to have this moment all together. I'm so sorry. I have as much argument to let them on the platform, and as much argument to unpublish them afterward. But I made a choice.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sorry.
and of course, we've tried really hard to make this entire month free from beginning to end. But you should know that there is such a thing as the Master of the Handpan Academy, which is our all-inclusive pass. So, we'll be sure to remind you next week. But certainly, there are options if you want to continue learning.
Oh, and thank you for the people. There's a lot of content. It's worth the money and stuff. You guys are so nice. How much I owe you to say that? Thank you so much. You guys are so nice. Oh, thank you.
All right. Well, good stuff. So basically, let's transition into a time to just kind of recap
what's
coming. On June 19th.
Oh, you're not ready. This groove.
You're going to have basically, okay. So you have the groove on Thursday.
Only one video. This one is a big one. So prepare some time, set some time apart for this one.
Then you'll have another one on the 21st. And then the last two just concluding everything on the 23rd. Now, you're going to receive emails for all of these. But let me remind you, in order to be entered in the draw for our live prize, our grand prize, you need to make sure that you're marking each lesson as completed. So when you go into your dashboard, see, I've done it. I'm an obedient
Congrats,
student.
Sylvain.
And you'll see that your percentage here is up to date, which means that by the 23rd, you want to make sure your progress shows 100%, right? And that will enter you into the list of participants for the draw, considering that our live stream is happening on the 25th. Disregard this. It's going to take place on June 25th, which I believe is a Wednesday. Yeah, exactly. It'll be next Wednesday. And you'll get an email for that. So, of course, once again, a huge shout out to Cédric Plat at Panache for giving away a D-curved handpan. This is the scale that has quickly become ubiquitous. It's become kind of the staple and a great way to learn. Of course, there are hundreds of scales, but the melodic potential of this scale is really well balanced. You've got some major chords, you've got some minor chords, you've got a deep, boomy center note. So again, gratitude for Panache and how they're collaborating with us. And that wraps up our announcements.
Yes.
We have one more live stream to go.
Yeah.
which
And then
will
the
include-
raffle draw and kind of conclusion and what to do from there, where to go from there. Sylvain, you don't forget us. You have to play. You don't
Sure.
quit like this. So, guys, shout out in the comments. We're going to close this live with music. And at the end, we won't say any words. We'll just wave you and close the window of this chat. While Sylvain is grabbing I'm sure he's going to take a hang. I want to say a big thank to all of you guys. This is another adventure in my life these months with all of you. I am reading people mentioning the academy, people encouraging one another. Thank you so much for the support, guys. You're part of the success of Master the Handpan. It's, I mean, no students, no courses, no students. So it's a teamwork. It's a lovely relationship we're developing with all of you guys on the village. I love you, and take care. Practice. Can you hear my voice? Practice a lot with fun. A lot is just 15 minutes a day. You're going to make it. Set some time apart. You won't regret it. Stop scrolling 15 minutes. Replace it by your Handpan Roots practice. You'll be so happy at the end. All right. 3, 2, 1. Sylvain, you
All right.
ready?
Yeah, you can hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you okay.
All right, so I'm gonna hope
Yeah.
that these mics are working. Great.
All right, let's relax.